Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by Workology. Even though Google is sunsetting their ATS product, Google Hire, next year, Google for Jobs is operating in full force. In fact, it's Google's secret HR and recruiting weapon. Since the inception of the internet, people have been searching for jobs online. This is what job boards were built for, making it easier for recruiters to connect with job seekers and vice versa. Except that how we have searched over the years has changed. The invention of not job boards, but job board aggregators, like Indeed.com, among others, are the driving force of how our search evolves. And enter Google. Google for Jobs is really part of the next evolution. These aggregators serve up job listings from multiple job boards, as well as company career sites. These strategies serve these aggregators well. It's the reason that Indeed.com really rose to dominance and prominence in this space. And 2 years ago, Google decided to lay down their stake in the ground, launching Google for Jobs. Today's featured article comes from Recruitment Tech and is titled, "What's the Impact of Google for Jobs on Job Boards?" Now, the article says that Google for Jobs is the invisible market leader for traffic, and I'll link to this article in the transcript of the podcast. And really, the article says that this market leader, invisible market leader, just happened literally overnight. Everyone uses Google.com for everything, including searching for jobs. Google has decided to play nice with job boards instead of replacing them through partnerships from job boards that want to have traffic directly from Google. So when a job seeker searches up a term on Google.com for marketing director jobs in Austin, Texas, Google for Jobs serves up openings first by their partner job boards mostly, and not employer career sites. Am I right in this assumption? Is this really what's happening? I talked to Chris Sotero of TMP in a recent podcast episode of the Workology podcast. Note, when we get started with this, Chris mentions it, and he's referring to Google for Jobs.
Now, in 2019, it has grown tremendously, but it only accounts for about 1.6% of the total network traffic. So right now, we're seeing 1 out of 100 job seekers visiting everything across the board from Google for Jobs right now. Now, you could say some of that's segmented because Google for Jobs doesn't only index employers, it's indexing other job boards. Some of it can be coming indirectly from other job boards. That's for sure. But I think it's important to look at Google for Jobs within the lens of Google overall. So I can tell you that around 20% of all of those traffic numbers are coming from Google overall. That means that only 7% of the Google traffic is coming from Google for Jobs right now. So that means companies that do have solid SEO programs are benefiting from that. But they're still seeing just a portion of their SEO efforts coming from Google for Jobs. Now, that number, that 20% can go up or down. I've worked with some companies who are really good, like AT&T, who has much higher numbers than that. But, you know, it's a good baseline to just at least give some grounded context around it, right? It's definitely a very interesting, time with a lot of this happen, and big names like Google mean, lots of big headlines. But I think you have to, be grounded in how you look at it. And we look at it as it is a new channel that has opened up that we can capitalize on. And of course, 1.6% out of millions and millions of visits isn't a small number. But I don't think that it's at the point now where it's going to start taking away from career sites other job boards and job aggregators at the rate that a lot of people say. And I did bring a couple extra numbers here too, just to, give you an idea. I know that everyone's like, is Google for Jobs going to be the Indeed killer, right? Well, we of course have data on Indeed too. And I think context that, can be lost sometimes when people are talking about Indeed's decline in traffic is they made a major update to their user experience in 2018. And it was to create this double-paned navigation where when job seekers on Indeed click on a job, in the past, they used to go directly to the employer's career site. Now, they stay on Indeed and they don't go to the employer's career site until they click the apply button.
What most HR and recruiting leaders don't know is the invisible network of traffic, clicks, and business referrals that happen in the job board industry. This has been going on long before Google for Jobs. Job boards buy and sell and trade and send traffic and candidate information different ways. This includes Google for Jobs, where clicks, candidates, and traffic are traded. This is the reason why company career sites haven't really seen an increase in candidate quality or traffic as a result of Google for Jobs. Google is leveraging job boards who are more than willing to pay for partnering with Google for Jobs instead of being their competition. Personally, I think that Google for Jobs will enter the market and effectively remove job boards from the equation. When will that happen? We can't be for sure. Until then, Google for Jobs is the silent market leader in job candidate traffic and continues to be. And it's something that job boards are talking about amongst each other, but no one is really talking about yet publicly. Workology now offers SHRM certification prep classes on your schedule with over 36 hours of online training, a private Facebook group, and instruction using the SHRM learning system. We give you the resources you need. Visit workology.com/products to learn more. And that's this episode of the Workology Go podcast, sponsored by Workology. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.